Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I just want to give an apology on the rest of this video. This was my first time shooting any actual work being done to a shotgun. All my previous videos I had ever done for my individual channel, my personal channel, were always of completed work, so I could flip the camera around. I wasn't trying to focus on one particular part of the gun and work with both hands at the same time while also filming. And so this time for my first effort, I zoomed in a little too far. You're going to get a lot of rather egregious shots of my arms and my rather full arm hair and some of these, as well as some fuzzy shots of what I'm actually doing. I'm going to try and trim up the video as much as possible to get as much of that out, but at the same time, I also don't want you missing anything. So without further ado, please enjoy this video as much as you can. I promise all future videos will be much better as I am learning the art of being a good cameraman while also learning the art of cleaning and restoring some of these beautiful shotguns. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, welcome to my most recent project. This is a Army and Navy C.S.L. British side-by-side shotgun. Army and Navy C.S.L. Kind of like the equivalent of a PX combined with a Sears and Roebuck back in the Victorian era. They continue to exist into the 70s. I believe in the 70s they were purchased by another company. It's not Sainsbury's, but it's somebody like that in England. But the whole idea was that they were, they sold things to folks that were in the British military and their families. So you had to be a military officer or family member of a military officer to be able to purchase things there. And one of the many things they carried were firearms. If you were a young British officer getting ready to go to India or one of the other colonies, especially African colonies, you think Rhodesia, British South Africa, India, Pakistan, anywhere that the British previously ruled, you were going to be expected to have some time that you were going to be doing some sport shooting. So it behooved you to stop by the Army Navy C.S.L. and perhaps pick up a double rifle or a double gun, such as this one, to take with you on your jaunts across the world. This particular one, there are a few things that need repaired and restored on it. And this is actually my first time opening up a British sidelock, so you're going to get to experience that with me. As you can see, this hammer is original over here. This one is not. You can see there is no knurling on that. There is on that. This is a different angle. If you look closely, you can see where the hammer spur on this hammer broke off at some point, and somebody brazed or welded a halfway decent attempt at making it functional on there. The problem is that, number one, it's not true. Number two, because of the position, you don't get enough leverage. So here, they both have the same spring strength on the locks, but this one, I've got more leverage. This one, I really have to crank back on because it's not sticking straight up in that rabbit ear position. So that is one thing that needs to be taken care of. I've sourced a pair of hammers. They're 30mm hammers, measured from the center of the pivot to the center of the striking face of the hammer. And I found some that we're probably going to do the job on E.J. Blackley and Son on their website, but they felt that the castings were not suitable enough for those particular hammers. So I'm waiting on them to get back to me with some other options. But you can see that this has nice rose and scroll work on it, indicative of the finer shotgun makers. A lot of these were made by W.C. Scott and Son of Birmingham. This particular gun has linen proofs. I don't think you can see the girl proofs here, but I can put it up there. So it's Siemens steel. It's upside down for y'all, but these are London proof house proofs on here. And yeah, I mean that's typically, you know, higher end London guns, especially being a sidelock. It's a sidelock non-ejector. It's a little sticky in there. It needs a good cleaning. But yeah, so I haven't really worked on this one much. It's supposed to be a winter project, like I said. Still waiting on this hammer, but without any further ado, we will get to working on taking this apart. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to have a screwdriver that's of the proper size and fit. So that one's a little wide. Have rather diverse set of Packmeyer screw heads here, or screwdriver heads. And the trick is finding one that's fine enough to fit into that slot without marring it up. So that will work, but it's not particularly wide. We will probably just use my actual smithing screwdrivers here. I need a bigger workbench. There we are. So that one might work well. So this is one I made from a cheap set. Yep. And I hologrammed it down so that it would make good contact and had a very fine slot there. So take this screw out, and then the hammer's just going to lift directly up here. There we go. Wiggles off. You can see they're cast hammers. You can see where the brazing was on that one. They did like I said, it's a amicable job of, not commendable, but amicable job. So there's really only one screw to take out on these side locks, and that's this one right here. So let's see if this is fine enough to fit down in there. To clean that out a little bit here. Let's find a fine pick. Very carefully here. I don't want to scratch anything. Definitely have some grime and dirt in there that needs to come out. I don't really want to flood this with any sort of oil or anything if I don't have to, because that will seep into the wood, damaging it. Using a brass brush here to try and get some of that out of there so that we don't damage anything. Because believe it or not, there is still some case color hardening on this, which I almost didn't believe when I saw it, because holy cow, how are you going to have case color hardening on a gun this old? This is late 18, early 1900s at the youngest. And the London proof marks are a little bit harder to tell sometimes than the Birmingham proof marks as to the exact date of the gun. So let's see, that might just be a hair too wide. Might work best. You want to go very slowly with these. Very deliberately. Every last screw on this thing is engraved. And so you want to be very, very gentle, very, very careful. Typically a gun this fine I would send off to a professional, as I am still learning through doing. But in this case, there are a couple things like that hammer. And then there is a hole in the top of the rib, right where the Army and Navy C.S.L. engraving is, that, you know, give me a little bit more leeway, as in this is not a perfect specimen. Right, so that is good. And you can see here, yeah, we're good. We didn't bend anything, so that's the important thing. This is a magnetic screwdriver, by the way, so it can be a bit of a pain in the ass at times. So this pin, it's a screw, but it's really called a pin. You can see how dirty it's got on the other side. You can even see where it's engraved. This pin is, pretty much what holds both lock plates on. And then with the lock plates, you're supposed to just be able to tap them off, honestly. I remember somebody saying once that you should be able to, put your screw on there and pull up with that. I do want to be very careful. I would not want to strip this. I would absolutely hate myself if I stripped it out. In the meantime, I'm going to grab parts right here. Get a little tappity tap of the hammer here. And brass and plastic hammers. Never a bad thing to have. No. And you just want to let these fall out on their own. So here's the lock plate. Definitely need to clean up around here very gently. Nylon, soft brush. Oh, look at that. Look at that case color. Still right there. I mean, it's beautiful. It's deep. It's rich. Yeah, there we go. I'm off camera, aren't I? There we go. There's that case color. And it's just absolutely deep and rich and gorgeous. So yeah, this pin will take care of. Now, the reason I want to take lock plates off, number one, there's a little bit of rust and gunge that we need to clean up. But typically, lock makers would sign their locks. So I see this one has a 1 up there. I'm really trying to find out if this is a W&C Scott & Son or a Wesley Richards. Another 1 up there. And honestly, I'm not seeing any hallmarks at the moment. At these locks, a little bit of rust on the spring there. Oh, it's just surface. It's going to be able to come off, which is good news. But yeah, I mean, 120 plus year old locks, quite well made. So that's how you get the locks off one of these things. Pretty straightforward. The next thing to do would be to take out the tang screws here, 1 and 2. That would then allow you to bump up on this, turn it, and then really and truly the last screw you have to deal with at that point is this bottom plate screw right here. And you would have all the works away from the stock. You see, this was, I mean, it's old enough that almost looks like percussion cap setup, here. So you've got these these little side pieces here were actually to protect you from a ruptured cap. Prying pin protrusion is not as far on that one. It's a little bit more far on that one. But what makes me think it might be a Wesley Richards. It's a treble bite. Got the top locking piece here. Okay. Doll's head extension. You know, you've got the two underbites. You can see there, moving in tandem. And another compelling piece of evidence is that we have the London proof dates put it more than likely at the latter half of the 19th century, very early 20th. But the final piece, and I know that William Anson made a lot of these in his own workshop, this Anson pushrod forend. But you know, he patented that. I want to say it was 1875. And you can see W. Anson and then the serial number. And he originally started out selling these to Wesley Richards, where he worked. So the serial number is 26453, it looks like. And he serialed those just so he knew how many he had made and who bought what, so he could make sure they were going to the right place. But this needs a lot of cleanup. And it's going to be a very nice gun when it's done. Again, just waiting on Blackley and Son to see if they can find two replacement hammers that are, you know, the same quality. Yeah, that's it for now. It's getting pretty late. This is long enough video for now. Next time I am going to finish taking this out of the stock, setting the stock aside, and we'll begin to break down these locks, which I want to get very clear pictures of because I do not want to take them apart and then not be able to put them back together. But you can see there's the trigger, your sear, your tumblers, their bar locks. There's your bar. I mean, for that steel inside to be that shiny still is amazing to me. I mean, that's so highly polished. This, I would argue this is probably from a best gun maker. Again, more reason to believe it's a Wesley Richards, or at the very least a W&C Scott and Son. So I reached out to Wesley Richards and I'm waiting to hear back from him, but I don't know if I will. So with that, oh, there's the other one I have to take out up there. So it's these two, this one, and then last but not least that one. But yeah, so again, we'll hold off until the next video. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Looking forward to disassembling and cleaning this one up with all of you as witnesses. And I can't wait to get this ready to shoot. It is going to be quite nice when it's done. So thank you and have a great day.